I want to start out by telling you a little story about something that happened the other day. I've had an opportunity in front of me for a while, for a couple months. It kept sort of attracting me. I kept thinking like, I think I can do something with this. I think this is a good opportunity for me. And yet I didn't really know how to move forward on it. It wasn't really clear to me. And I was sort of having an ongoing argument with myself about whether or not I should do it. So I was just sitting with it, like you do when you have opportunities that you don't know what to do with. What I should have noticed was the fact that I was arguing with myself about it, that I was talking myself in and out of it. Because what I know about me, and this may be true of you as well, is that when I want to do something and the way is clear, like it's done, I do it right away. It's no big deal. I don't quibble about it inside of my mind. Sometimes I make, adjustments as we go, but I don't second guess myself. That's what I'm saying. When it's a no, I second guess myself. So I need to remember that when I'm in the that's actually my version of no. Because the thing I was attracted to in this opportunity was not that it was a great opportunity. It's that it was a familiar emotional pattern. It was my neuroses wanting to make this decision for me. It was my neuroses going like, oh, this is familiar. This is tempting. Like, let me work out some of my old parent shit, some of my old patterns on this new opportunity. That's a good idea. I have friends who are relationship coaches and they caution about this too. Like sometimes that person that we see that we're like, oh, that's my person. What we're actually feeling is like, oh, that's my familiar emotional pattern, right? I want to get underneath that chatter, right? Underneath that yes, no, and into what is really right for you. I want you to think of something that you've been wanting to do for a while now, that you keep sort of promising yourself you're going to do it. What is something that you've been thinking about doing for a long time that you just haven't made any progress on? Or you think maybe it's not for you? Or let's get some clarity here about whether it's just an opportunity you're afraid of because it might challenge you or cause you to grow, which has a natural reluctance to it, totally understandable. Or it's something that's not actually right for you because it's actually sucking you into some old familiar pattern. What is one of those things? Go ahead and type it into the chat. For those of you lurking, just write it down for yourself. I see you lurkers. It's fine. You're welcome. You're welcome to be here. You don't have to participate. And what is it? What is it that you think you want to write a book or you think you want to come to Crete with me and Amy? By the way, the early bird pricing, you have to have your application in by tomorrow to get the early bird pricing for Barefoot Perfect. Go to barefootperfect.com just to apply. If you don't know what to do it around Crete. Yeah, Leah says, yeah, that's the trick. Sorting resistance, fear, doubt from the actual no. Well, that's what we're going to do right now. So you can hear the actual truth inside of your head and not all the chatter. So what is it? There's a boy, there's a book, there's a business idea, there's a creative project, there's a change you want to make in your house or in your life or in your body, losing weight, walking, eating properly. Right. Okay, good. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the thing that's keeping you from committing and doing is some feeling that you are somehow insufficient to the task, that you're not quite enough. You're too old, you're too tired, you're too complicated, you're too hurt, you're too not good enough, whatever the not enoughness is. June says throwing out or giving away all the treasures inherited from family. Right, exactly. And now, yes, pick the one of the things that you want to do, but have been putting off. Let's just assume that part of why you're not doing this is because you think you're not quite sufficient to the task. So finish this sentence for yourself. If I were 10% more X, I would do it. If I were 10% more what? If I were 10% more confident, if I were 10% more sure of the outcome, if I were 10% more interested, if I were 10% more a better writer, if I had 10% more time or 10% more money, what is it that you feel like you're falling short on so you can't quite do this thing? Now, grab a piece of scrap paper. I have an index card. And oh my God, you guys, I found actual cardstock index cards. Remember, like index cards used to be? They're nice and heavy. It's great. I can use Sharpies and everything. And we're just going to do a little 90-second doodle. This is not making art. It doesn't have to be good. No one's ever going to see it. A 90-second doodle of how it feels to lack this quality. So how does it feel to feel 10% not motivated enough, 10% less confident, 10% too hurt, 10%, right? So we're making a picture of you believing this story that you're not enough. I'm setting this timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Go ahead and doodle how that feels. What is the image, the picture, the shape, the color of that I'm not enough feeling? Okay? That's what we're doing right now. Start. Right? If I were 10% healthier, I would. right, so we're doodling just the feeling. I'm almost making a little cartoon out of mine. We've got 48 seconds left, so we're about halfway through. Go ahead and add a little more detail if you want. Good. 30 seconds left. What are you noticing about this doodle, this drawing, this shape, these colors? Get it out. Get that feeling out so you can look at it and go, yep, that's how it feels. That's how it feels to not be enough, not have enough confidence, not be extroverted enough, not have enough time, not be young enough. That's how it feels. 4 seconds left. All right. There it is. Stop. Good. And now I'm curious what you drew. Action. If I were 10% more action, work in progress, is that possible? How does that work? Results. And just as more courage, stooped over in a heavy, dark, hooded cloak. Ooh. Ooh, I like it. So here's what I drew. This is me being laid low by long haul COVID. This is me on a bed, and that's a whatever number that is, 100 million pound weight on me, which is what long haul COVID feels like. And what I notice about this is, first of all, it sort of reminds me of some of the work of Frida Kahlo, right? She drew all those pictures of herself in bed from her broken back. It also looks like I'm on a rack of torture of some kind, but it also makes me think like, oh, what if I put a dollar sign in front of this number? What if it wasn't a weight, but money? Like, what if I could make money from laying in bed? We do this partly because it's fun to draw, but also because it gives us a new insight into what's actually happening, right? Enjo is cloaking herself, is literally hiding what she perceives to be her lack of courage, is hiding herself and her work from the world, right? It's a cloak that makes you sort of disappear, right? Laurie says, a big round person standing by myself. So there's a loneliness there. Like I'm almost getting that, what's the Willy Wonka character who blows up and floats away, right? When in fact, I happen to know what Laurie Mueller looks like in person, and she is not a big round person. She is a very curvy, delightful person. Julie says, focus, a mess of scribbles, no center, no pattern, no, totally random without a center, feels distracted and random. Great, good insights. So I hope that even those of you who think of yourselves as not drawers, which I am definitely not a drawer, not a visual artist at all, got a little extra insight and maybe some compassion for this version that you think of yourself. Deborah says, sitting at the computer, expecting the computer to write my book. Well, with ChatGPT, that could actually happen now, but it wouldn't be your book, so you wouldn't be happy with that. June says, tiny person getting tinier, struggling up a big hill with RIP at the top. And the other side of the hill says, who? Oh, June. Morgan says, shriveled snail hiding in a shell. Oh my gosh. Right? We feel that lifelessness, that hiding. And somehow in my mind, in my picture that I make of that, it's the shell is very fragile. Like sometimes you see snails with cracked shells, like it's very thin. Yes. Yes. And poor June, this mountain, struggling up this mountain of death. Gosh, you guys, I am feeling this in my body like crazy. Whew. Well done. Well done. And you may want to write a little poem about this. You may want to flesh out this art project so you remember, like, it's not just nothing that's keeping you stuck. It's a real thing. It's real feelings. These are real barriers. You're not a failure. You haven't done anything wrong. There's a legit obstacle in your way. However, what I asked you to do was to draw you with this 10% problem. Now, you and I both know that 10% is like a rounding error. I mean, the chances are pretty good that you actually are 10% more, whatever you think you need to be. What I learned is that people tend to underestimate themselves by 50%. I learned this when I was lifting weights. I used to be a person who lifted weights. How about that? But my trainer told me, she said, if you ask someone, like, they'll start them lifting weights and you say, okay, how much do you think you can lift? They will say a number that is almost always exactly 50% of what they can actually lift. And partly that's just a survival mechanism. It's our brain being conservative, wanting to conserve calories, wanting to conserve our well-being. So we think, well, I'm only going to try to do this much in case something terrible happens and I have to do twice as much. But it's also true when you ask people how much they're willing to pay for something, they're usually willing to pay twice as much as they say they are. If you ask someone how long it's going to take them to do something, they will usually double their estimate. It's a good little mental trick to know about, that it's a little trick you play on yourself and other people play on themselves. So let's assume that you already are 10% more courageous, more extroverted, more organized. John says, taking action in quicksand. The more I move, the further I sink. Oh, Oh, right. So I'm just going to flip my card over, but new piece of paper, same pen, doesn't matter. Now let's make a drawing of what it would look like if you were 10% or 50% or 100%, but just 10% more rich, more available, more interested, more accomplished, more less sick, whatever. Okay. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Don't think, just put the image on paper. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What comes to you when you think, oh, if I were 10% more this thing, what does that look like? What is the image, feeling, colors of that? Okay. We're counting down. Better start drawing. Better start drawing. If you're just 10% more, what? What would that look like? What would it feel like? What might happen? What are the colors? What's the little cartoon? Maybe you're drawing yourself in Crete with me and Amy. How are we doing? We got 14 seconds left. I got caught up in my own drawing here. There we go. Good. So what happened for you? I'll show you what I drew. Almost the same image, right? Me in bed still. But I'm sitting up. And instead of a weight on me, there's all this money and love floating around me. I kind of like it. This lifts me up. I don't have to be in perfect health to do my work. Luckily. There are other times, times I was a whitewater river guide, times I was a barista, times I rehabbed houses for Strickwood and old historic homes, and other manual labor jobs that I would be in big trouble. But right now, I get to make money from my brain and my creativity. I can still receive all the money and all the love. How about that? What happened for you? Julie says there's still a lot of lines and colors, and they're all aligned like rays, shining out from me like light shining from a star. Yes, like light shining from a star. All the same activity, all the same things, but just organized naturally. And just as me seeing myself in the mirror, happy, arms wide open, looking good. Yeah, you do. It's a good looking bunch. I know you people. You are a handsome group of people. An extended hand, 10% move in the right direction to get out of the quicksand. Freedom. Yes. Yes. And John, I love this insight of feeling like, oh, what I need is more action. But in fact, more action is just getting you more stuck in the quicksand. But 10% willingness to take the outstretched hand leads to freedom. That's a great story. That's a great metaphor. And the brain, we think in stories, we think in metaphor. That's why this is such an effective game, right? These little 90-second doodles is because it allows you to really understand what's going on in a way that you can't always articulate in words. Deborah says, and that's what makes you who you are, Sam. So lean into your brilliance. This is your next chapter. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. I appreciate that. One of the many benefits of a lifetime in the theater is I have a firm grip on what we call performance energy, which is that when it is showtime, when the camera goes on, I can do it. Now, in 6 minutes, I'm going to crawl back into bed and not talk for another couple hours. And then I teach again at 4:30 with Linda Sievertson in the Beautiful Writers Group. Some of you are in that group too. But yeah, I can do it. I can do it. I can't do all the things, but I can do the important things. And so can you. You can't do everything, but you can do the important things. Say it out loud for yourself. I can't do everything, but I can do the important things. And the important things are for you to love yourself for you to show up for yourself, for you to put even just 15 minutes a day into your projects, even the ones that feel like big, overwhelming mountains of death, even the ones that feel like quicksand. In 15 minutes, you can make some significant progress every single day, and it matters. And then you get the spillover effect. Oh, I did that. Maybe I could do this. Oh, I had enough confidence to do that. Maybe I have enough confidence to do this. Maybe I could invite that boy for a coffee. Maybe I could follow up with that person who said they were interested in my work. Maybe I could post my work in this group even, or in a more public forum. How do you want to do and be and share in the world? I know you don't want to get to the end of your life and feel like you hid from it. Raising a glass to toast that, yes. Morgan says, lounging comfortable on top of the snail shell while sipping wine in a beautiful nature setting with expressive squiggles and exclamation points in the air, surrounded by others who've broken out of their shells. Oh my God, Morgan, that's divine. I love it. I love the snail shell and the champagne glass. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Oh my goodness, you all are marvelous. This is so great. June, you are extraordinary. Thank you. Thank you for being here, right? All right. So we're just about at the end of our half hour. I want you to apply to come to Crete, even if you think you can't afford it, even if you think you're not going to come, just fill out the application. And if it's really right, then we'll have a little conversation about it. You'll talk with me or you'll talk with Amy and we'll get you set up. If not, we only have 7 or 8 spots left. So October, the first week of October, Crete is the southernmost of the Greek islands. So it'll still be quite warm, but all the summer people will have gone away. All the people with families will have gone back to school. It's not like we'll have the entire place to ourselves, but it will definitely be quieter than it is in June, July, August. And plus it gets us a really good rate on the rooms. This is an incredible 4 or 5 star resort that we're going to. It's really beautiful. One night, I think there's a white party. Everybody wears white. And we dance and eat amazing Greek food. Veronica says, and it happens to start on a full moon. It's a visioning retreat for women. Sorry. There are people who identify as women. If you identify as a man, we'll have to think of something else to do that's fun for you. Remember that you are absolutely 10% more, whatever it is, than you think you need to be. You have everything you need. So move forward with that confidence. Move forward with that certainty and explore. Let your curiosity lead you. Who knows what's going to happen? We'll have another free challenge at the end of this month. It's going to be a 3-day challenge and it's going to be free this time and leading into sort of an all new Get It Done lab. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay, good. Anything else anybody wants to say or share before we wrap up this session? I'm so glad to see you and have this time with you. And I'm excited to see what you create. Don't let this little light this little candle that's been lit inside you go out, okay? Julie says, I just keep hearing yes and, right on. Yes and, yes and, yes and. Exactly. All right, love you guys too. Thanks for your good wishes for my health. I share them. If you've got a friend with long haul COVID, send them a little heart today because, man, it is no joke. 15 months I've been like this. No, that's not true. It's been 15 months. I am infinitely better than I was 15 months ago. So much better. I have whole days where I feel practically normal. Almost. Okay, you ready? Let's do one more breath. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for doing this with me. Mwah. Love you guys. Big kiss.